Hello everyone. So today we're gonna talk about something that will seem kind of confusing. We're gonna talk about national governments and state governments. So first things first, let's talk about what they have in common. Number one, they all have three parts. All right. So obviously, national. Then we have judicial branch, executive branch, and legislative branch. Legislative, they pass laws. Judicial, they judge those laws. Executive, they execute those laws. Execute means like act like put them in use, not like execute like kill. All right, so don't mix up those together. And the exact same thing goes for state governments, except for the fact that they're much smaller and only controls the things in the states. So you're probably wondering that, hey, if a school it's like a state school, then probably the state controls them also, right? Wrong. They don't, because instead of the state government controlling them, it's the state's boards of education. All right. So there's a kind of like a fourth branch. However, it's much more independent and controls every school building. All right. Every school building, everything that happens in the schools, every activity, every term, every test given out by their board of education. So basically, scientific exchange, education board. News airline test, education board. News clothes uniform, education board. So don't think it's your principal who's making everything worse. It's the freaking board. And your principal has no choice but to do it, or else he could face legal consequences, obviously, because disobeying the state government. And also note that there are like neighborhood governments as well, like the mayor. Right, so they control like mayor of like cities. All right, so they basically even smaller governments, city governments. Also led by three branches, however, also significantly smaller than state branches, and also mayors actually have like a little say in what happens in the schools in their cities, and also what happens to the unused land. Right, you can use it for housing or for companies, but you also have to have a group that limits your power because, well, like the saying, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, which means that too much power, you're gonna become corrupted. So the state government and the national government put you in a position of other people. So that way, you try and go cray cray, you can't do that because, well, they're stopping you. So also there's towns. Right, towns you have even smaller mayors. However, they have like a couple more jobs like logging history and the treasurer, and they only control towns, like small towns. All right, and also the mayor is also they have the ability to basically do like free reign. However, he didn't do something too crazy. Well, the neighbors and the people living in the town can report them to the city mayors or state governments of some sort or the police because, well, everyone is unequal under the law. All right, like presidents, state lawyers, that dog, you, me, everyone is equal under the law. It doesn't matter how strong you are, how rich you are. You have to serve it. You can't just bail out, all right? Unless you're on parole and you can pay the parole, well, you can get out. But obviously, they're going to set the parole a little bit high so that way, you can't just immediately go into jail and then boom. Even if you had enough money, there is like a time, so you have to spend some time in prison before the parole can actually be paid for you can get out. Basically, like 3 months, and then you can actually use the parole. So it doesn't matter. So basically, yeah, that was a quick little Freeman explanation of how governments work, like national, state, city, and town. All right. So I hope that was actually useful to you, and see you next time.